He's a family man. He's a man that's concerned with the structure and the upbuilding of the family. And it's good to see that there's someone at the helm that's leading the Black community, and not just the Black community, but communities in general.
You're a son, a father, a husband, a grandfather, a prophet, preacher, lecturer, teacher, messenger. Of all those labels, what's the most important to you?
The prophet. Speaking on behalf of God. The prophet. Because if it wasn't for the prophet, none of this would be. When I was looking for a wife, I looked for someone. I was not looking for anyone with long hair, short hair, light skin, dark skin, tall, short. I was looking for someone that was prophetic. And my wife was prophesying since the age of 12. And that's what I was attracted to in my wife, the prophet.
Bishop and myself, we married, we met each other in high school, so we were high school sweethearts. But of course we didn't like each other when we met each other, but that's another story. But both of us were drawn to the prophetic. During the late 70s, there wasn't a lot of people saying, I'm a prophet, or I can prophesy. So when you found someone that prophesied, I mean, you was gonna gravitate towards them. 30 years later, 5 children, 6 grands, and we're still together.
And I tell people, when you marry your calling. Therefore, you got to marry her spirit and not her flesh.
Do you have synergy when it comes to prophesying?
One example, we had it was a interracial church that we was going to, and I started speaking in tongues. I naturally, in my own understanding, I didn't know what I was saying. And then he got up behind me and began to say, yea, for the Lord will say thus and so and thus and so. After he finished, it was a woman in this church that was Italian that spoke fluent Italian. She got up and she began to testify. She said, Pastor, you don't know what just happened. He said, well, what happened? He said, she spoke perfect Italian. I don't speak Italian language, but by the Spirit, I spoke perfect Italian. But what's even more amazing, he interpreted word for word what I had said. It's not something just mere physical, but it's something more, which is spiritual.
Out of the prophet comes the father. I love being the father because I love seeing offspring. I love seeing children. I love spending time with my children. I love hearing their thoughts. I like the challenge. And then at the same time, I try to tell my children, don't resent that you have the gift of both parents. You know, sometimes it can be a guilt that's associated with that.
Maybe when we were about 5, 6 years old, when they will ask us what we see, or they'll tell us to close our eyes and tell them what we see.
Did it ever frighten you?
No, we didn't know anything. This is just our life.
It became something that I grew and learned how to understand it. Sometimes the things that I would see, hear, or feel, at times it was scary for me, but you know, growing up and still learning about your gift of prophecy, it helps you to mature in it. To this day, sometimes I can see something in someone and be a little hesitant. It was, I don't want to say weird, but it was overwhelming as a child.
Knowing how to lean on my prophetic intuition has really helped me to get where I'm going, and learning how to trust God and watching my parents and seeing how God worked for them. And that's something that it took me a while to learn, but I'm starting to learn it and master it.
This is such a big time in your dad's life, obviously. Turning 50 doesn't happen all the time, of course.
I'm real happy that he is 50 years old and that, you know, he's been through so much and he's progressed, and the ministry has progressed, and we've progressed through his teachings.
I see it more as a significant more than like a struggle this year for the 50th year, since you only get to turn 50 one time.
It's been an absolute blessing.
You know, you sound so much like your dad, like a preacher's son.
I got a prophecy from Prophet Hargo during the Feast of the Prophets, and he had let me know that I was going to follow in my father's footsteps. And I figured, why not just start following in them and stop running away from my destiny.
I've been listening to my dad's teachings since I could last remember, since I was young, and he always used to speak about when you start saying I am, you start becoming one with whatever you want.
The one thing that I have learned from my father, and that I kind of walk with every day, is that your network determines your net worth. And that's why I can appreciate my father for allowing me the opportunity to go to college and pursue my dreams.
You obviously have a lot of roots with the prophetic.
I was brought up around it, always seeing my father ministering. That's the first paragon that I've seen. I would sometimes sit in the office and just listen to him minister and listen to the way we flow, understanding the way we articulated the prophecy, understanding how it came to him. It was something that I was able to look up to and says, wow, I want to become this. I want to walk in that same type of mantle, that same type of anointing. This is a legacy. This is not something, a man that just woke up one morning and, put olive oil on his forehead and said, I'm a prophet. This is a legacy here. And this legacy needs to be, picked up, and looking at that and seeing that it's like, wow, this is big shoes to fill. I'm going to minister to the best capability that I'm going to minister in, and I'm going to do it in the spirit of excellence. And by people seeing that, they can look and say, wow, this is a replica. This is someone who has sat under the teachings of his father and has learned. I remember being home 5, 6 years old, and every time Daddy would come home, he'll come back home from, being in Africa, Ghana, wherever, all over the world. And every time we knew Daddy was home, because he would sing, and he was singing that high-pitched voice. When my dad was in Africa, and Governor Cedric told me, he said, they were playing the drums, and Bishop was singing these prophecies and just singing. And he said all these glasses around him started to pop, 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 pop. He would sing and just sing and sing and sing and sing. And, things will start happening.
Coming for to carry me home. Of angels coming after me, coming for to carry